Hello, it's ElectraSnow, and there is some weird and wonderful Korean beauty products out there, and I found this, an eyebrow template. So, further ado, it's time for these to go. Moved you in a little bit closer, and as you can see, I've removed my eyebrows in anticipation for this little product here, and I look like an ugly stepsister to Voldemort or something like that, or an alien, but we'll open this up. And this, like, the back of the product has like instructions of where to place it kind of thing, but 90% of it's all in Korean, apart from one or two things which says point 1, point 2. Everything else is in Korean, so I can't read Korean. But we'll undo this. First of all, the product's really hard to get into. There we go. Now, I have never ever used eyebrow templates. I've never used anything like that to try and get my eyebrows in place in the same area. I've always done them freehand. And I keep looking at myself in the viewfinder because I'm just like, what? And I've never used templates. I've never used any other kind of help to do my brows. I've always just done them with an angled eyeliner brush and eyeshadow. So I am always the person that tries to get them to look like twins. Everybody says they should be sisters and not twins, but I like them to be as pretty perfect as possible. So this is a good idea to me because that does help with getting them level, because this is extremely precise. But it's also triggering to my OCD that this isn't going to work. I think this could be a good place to start the placement. Now you can see I've got a tiny little bit of hair on the starts of my brows because obviously I shaved them off, but I like to leave a little bit there on the inner corners so I can know where to start my brows when I'm either hungover or pissed. So I presume we try and get it as level on the bridge of our nose as possible. We've got to look like some kind of thing out of Star Trek. And then we put shadow on it. Now for my eyebrows, I always use this little palette by Inglot, and I use this kind of like ashy brown, kind of slightly violet toned brown in the bottom here. I always use that for my brows. Obviously an angled brush isn't going to be the best thing when we're trying to get into this because it's kind of like a stamp. So I'm going to be using a fluffy brush, and this one's by Elf. So let's load the brush up with product and place this where we want our brows to be. Now the first thing I can see with the problem with this is if I don't keep this level with my hands, I'm not going to have perfect eyebrows, and that's triggering. Okay, and the corners don't necessarily touch the sides of my face. Try and see if this works. And I'm just going to use like a sweeping motion. And I've got a little mirror down here to the side if you see me what I'm looking off at. Oh god, that's just gone over. Okay, maybe this brush was the wrong brush to use. Oh, I'm moving it already. This is triggering. Okay. Okay. This is really difficult because when you're dipping back in for product, you're automatically moving it. Maybe I don't want to move it. So I'm gonna fill in the entire thing. Let's see if it works. Okay, I think there's one done. Maybe I should have just done one at a time, because then I wouldn't necessarily have moved it. Using this fluffy brush is a hell of a lot easier than what I do in the morning with an angled liner brush. Shall we see? God. Okay, it's left marks in my foundation, but I think it's a good starting step for putting it on to get them level. I'm quite impressed. Obviously I'd have to go in and clean these up, but they're not that bad. Put this back in, that's one thing, you got to clean this off. And I've just noticed that there's little bubbles, kind of like little perforated dots along the top. I don't know whether that could be like a measurement thing. Let's just fill it in a little bit. I can see it's probably better to do one eyebrow at a time now. I think I might actually be bloody using this. I don't like the idea of placing it right in the bridge of my nose like I did the first time. I like this kind of keeping it slightly slanted on a curve, because I can keep the outer proportion of the template in contact with my skin. I don't know whether that could just be my fat face. Oh, it was going good. Okay. Now this eyebrow's come out a lot better than that one has, but let me just get my angled brush and see whether I can just like embellish on them. Okay, I can see around the edges I've gone kind of over the template a little bit, so I'm just going to take a little bit of concealer and try and work with what we've got going on here to fix these brows. I think this might actually work better with like a cream, because you wouldn't have that powdery effect that you have with getting it over the edges. You could use a finer brush to use it in the center of the template. This one here looks a lot better than that one does at the moment, so we're just going to go around this one as well and clean it up. These brows are nowhere near as thick as I would have them. These are very close to looking like McDonald's signs. I've just got that one cleaned up a little bit better. There's still a little bit of residue there. There's not much I can do about that now it's on my foundation. Now I'm going to take a little bit of a thicker angle brush than I usually would. I'm just going to try and thicken them out and like use what we've got. Like, I don't know, I like it, but it's messing up with my OCD for getting my eyebrows to be level. I don't necessarily like the shape, but I like how even they are. I think for somebody who is just starting to do eyebrows, or if you've got some natural brow, obviously I've got nothing because I'm Voldemort, but if you've got a bit of a natural brow, I think this would be really, really helpful, because you could just put the out of proportion on your brow and fill it in and you'd get that perfect level brow every time. For me, I don't know. If I can fix this, I'll see whether I actually like it or not. Okay, now I'm filling it out a little bit more. I'm liking it a lot. Don't think that looks half bad. And the other one's far too thin. I haven't worked on that yet. It's a hell of a lot more arch than I'd normally like it. If I could buy these in different shapes, I think I would. I know you can buy little tiny ones which are like plastic sheets kind of thing, which you place on your eyes. But the thing that really puts me off with those is you're never going to know whether you've got them in the exact same space on each eye. With this, I like the idea of it because you have that kind of guidance point of place. Wherever you place it on your face, you're going to have them both exactly the same, unless obviously you're like this. But you have a little bit more of a helping hand than you do with some of those templates. To say, I like that it's easy to just 10 seconds, just like dot, 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 done. And I'm not too pissed about that. I'm just going to thicken up the tail of it a little bit more because I don't really like my eyebrows too arched. I mean, I'm kind of doing what I normally do anyway now. But to give me that starting point, like I've actually got brows on my face, is a good thing. Let me just finish off this brow off camera. Now I've just gone ahead and finished them off camera with a little bit more eyeshadow and an angled eyeliner brush, but all in all I'm quite happy with how this has made them turn out. And I'm quite surprised by it. Now, usually I'd fill in my eyebrows before I powder my foundation because I like to be able to clean them up a little bit more, so it has gone a little bit ashy around the edges where some of that product's gone over onto my skin. But all in all, for this to be like a starting point for me to fill my eyebrows in, I'm really kind of impressed with this little tiny little gadget thing. Now this does make them a little bit arched more than I usually do my brows. You can see they're a little bit more arched on this here, and if I could buy them in different templates, I'd definitely give it a consideration to get a different shape, but this is the one it came as, and it's not that bad. Like, they are a little bit off, I think that's the way I was holding it, but no, I'm quite impressed. Now, will I be using this little thing again? I don't really know. I like the idea for the placement because I can get them even. I'd like to try it with a few different products, so I may give that a go with that, but I don't really know if it's for me. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed me playing around with this weird Korean little eyebrow template. If you'd like me to try some other Korean beauty products, link me to some weird and wonderful ones down below and I'll see what I can come up with some of them. So yeah guys, all of my social media links are down in the description below. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, bye bye!